It's Thursday. Let's get off the rails. I like to take my relief factor on the show. The hardest thing is sometimes getting into the little plastic package there, but it tears pretty easy once you get it going. See, 4 little pills for relief factor. This is free advertisement for them. I just like taking their stuff. And the problem is I'm going to get choked on this one day because I try to take them all at once. And I just dropped one of them down on the seat. There he goes. There it is. The key is a lot of water.
We're going to do it like the old insane asylums. You got to open your mouth and show the tongues. You actually took them.
Proof right there. One flew over the cuckoo's nest.
You got to make sure you're taking your meds. I
took them. I need my crazy pills. I alluded to it earlier in the week, but I want to stress it to you. June 17th, my buddy Zach Rushing, many of you know Zach, is a great storyteller. He's a funny guy, funny comedian. We've done some other shows together. It's going to be just he and I are going to go do whatever the right English is, him and me. We're going to go to Biloxi and do a show together. And then the week after that, on the 24th, we're going to go to Beaumont. And let me tell you, both of those shows are going to sell out. So you want to go over to chadpratherlive.com. We're still getting the Beaumont link up. It may be up already, but go be aware of it, okay? Biloxi and Beaumont, we're going to try an experiment. Zach and I are going to try to do these shows together. And just trust me when I tell you, they're going to sell out. So, all right, back on Monday morning, early Monday morning, I posted a Facebook post, and I said, what topics would you like to discuss on this week's The Chad Prather Show? So I got a lot of responses, and I'll read you a couple of them. Chad, I'm really curious how actual lesbians feel about the transgender men infiltrating the lesbian community, and any Why are you calling out Kayla? She didn't volunteer for that. Any rejection these newcomers might be experiencing. Haven't heard the national media give any insight. Well, I'm not a lesbian. So, but Kevin Wade, K-Dub, from the Fact Pack there, my buddy, he mentioned Ariel Scarcella, who our friend who's been on the show a few times. She's got a couple of YouTubes out there. So go follow Ariel Scarcella and see what she has to say on the topic. She is indeed a certified lesbian, and smart gal. There were numerous people who said they enjoy the conversations that we have around biblical topics, and we will do more of those. Local elections and vetting candidates before voting and the failure of state legislators in Texas, as our buddy Katie Sims asked that one. There were numerous questions about that. It's a shame that people don't know more about who they're voting for or who they're putting up as candidates. Our buddy Phil Reed said we got to ditch the 24-hour news cycle by design and just making sure that we forget stuff that's going on in our world. We forgot about the 13 Americans that lost their lives in the withdrawal from Afghanistan and that nightmare. The cop charged with murder in Atlanta for defending himself. We forgot about that. East Palestine, Ohio. Pretty much all of these big things, it just goes away, right? We don't talk about so many big things you talk about Anheuser-Busch, but we don't talk about the fact that there's more slaves in the world going on right now today than ever in history. And there's 40 million slaves, 20 million of those are sex slaves. We're not talking about that type of thing with human trafficking. Open borders, which I do want to encourage you on Twitter to follow a group that I'm a part of now called Texans for Strong Borders, and it's just simply that on Twitter. I got to sneeze. Oh, that's pretty. That's what, hang on, I got to do it again. Got to look at the light. That's what Relief Factor does for me. Now I can't see because I looked at the light. People wanting to talk about why they haven't done more. I had somebody about Epstein's client list. I had people who said, Chad, quit talking about Bud Light and talk about Epstein's list. I'm like, if anybody is talking about Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, it's been me. And that goes back 3 years. You get in your search bar on your Google or DuckDuckGo or whatever you use, and you type Chad Prather, Jeffrey Epstein, which is not somebody I want to be associated with on Google. But you will see numerous episodes where we have discussed this topic. You'll see tweets that I've talked about where I say, I don't care about anything. I just want to see that client list. There's a lot that's been discussed on that. There's somebody who said, what happened to transvestites? Men can dress like women and pretend, usually in private. When did men think it would be great to cut off their genitals? Yeah, you see where that conversation's going. I mean, I haven't cut my genitals off. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we did. Beverly Wall, I came out, But then I was Tad Papafopoulos, that was my assumedly gay character. He was quite woke. Will the Biden family ever be brought to justice? No. Here was a good one. Trevor Taylor said, men making Jesus Lord of their life, which translates into banding with like-minded men, which leads to having healthy families, which leads to changing communities, which leads to building communities that won't be relying on government like most are now. Having a father-filled society can really change things. I can't disagree with that. Kevin Wade again, he said, what about the potential 5 to 10 year outcomes of the current path of the U.S. for the future? The best possible, the worst possible, the most likely. That's a big topic right there. That's one of them chalkboards we need to do. That's a chalkboard because, I'm reading that book that Glenn Beck recommended to me, and I can't for the life of me think of the name of it off the top of my head. I'll have to look. Go watch The Overtime. We talked about this book, about what happens, what would be the succession of events that happens hours, days, months, years after a major cataclysmic event that was to change the nature of how we, in America are able to function with no power or anything like that. And it's a powerful book when you talk about what are the outcomes. I mean, you can talk about the apocalyptic, crazy, wild stories of things that could happen where we just absolutely destroy ourselves. Or let's say the dollar is no longer the currency of the world, right? Or that, 20,000 cattle exploded in that farm in Texas? Well, allegedly, but they're not there anymore. So I don't know what was there. And again, last year when all those cattle died in the heat in Kansas, and I called out Bill Gates and said, hey, this is what he wants. Everybody in the cattle industry jumped down my throat and were ready to come, hang me from a tree because I called it out. And I'm like, I'm not coming to y'all's defense anymore because, what y'all did was just basically you were saying that I was putting a black eye on the cattle industry or the ranching industry. And I was absolutely not attempting to do that. I was just trying to say there are people out there with nefarious intentions who absolutely do intend to destroy your way of life and your way of making a living. They do. They want to do that. Bill Gates wants synthetic meat, for crying out loud. And of course, the biggest threat to his plan is to get rid of beef. And so, y'all are on your own now. I tried to help you guys.
Chad, I got a question on that because I'm a city boy. How does a lot that big blow up? Because 18,000 cows is a lot of cows, right?
That's the question. What is there on that?
That sounds like a B-52 dropped a bomb.
Yeah, that's dropping like napalm,
Yeah.
Like scorched earth. And that is the question there. And I don't know. What was it? You can educate me on that. In fact, you can head over to where podcasts are offered, leave a 5-star rating just because you love me, and then leave a review that tells me why it happened. I mean, because what happened? Again, I'm staying out of it because you guys jumped on me with both feet and beat the hell out of me the last time I tried to say anything about your industry, and you guys lost your freaking minds. So I'm out on that deal. Y'all can root hog or die, baby. Which, of course, I'm being facetious, but I already know how I got treated in that debate by trying to come to y'all's defense, and y'all didn't like it. So there you go. Again, it was absolutely humorless when it came to that. Boy, after all this time, I really just want a Bud Light. I really just want a Bud Light, man. I don't want them. I'm not doing it. I'm not a beer drinker. Like, it weirds me out. Kayla, you're a beer drinker. Yeah, you know, it weirds me out when I go to these places and people are like, "What IPAs do you have?" Like, what? It tastes like piss to me. I like.
I'm with you. All beer is gross.
It really is not good. On a hot day, you're out at the lake, you know, it's really, really cold. Yeah, I can have a couple, but I'm not the guy who's going to go, you know, give me the Happy Gardener and the Fat Moo Cow IPA, you know. And like I go to these beer nerds, as they say, and they go, you know, we've got 1,000 beers on tap, and, you know, I'm going to have the Horny Buffalo IPA. And it's like, that sounds delicious. Does it, though? Like, does it? Just because it had a creative name, I'm going to have a Yellow Jacket Stinger. You know? I really could. I'm going to have a Field of Dandelions, a Hefeweizen.
Speaking of that, did you see the guys who started the ultra right beer?
Yeah, our buddy, he's been on the show before, Seth Weathers. Yeah, Seth Weathers did the ultra right and conservative dad, Seth Weathers. You know, again, kudos to Seth. I don't know how he got that thing off the ground so fast. He must have been ready to go. Yeah, he did. CJ, all of the Christmas presents that she wrapped last year, Seth loves CJ, and she might love him back. I don't know. I don't ask a lot of questions. Seth's a good-looking man, but he's a good friend, and all the presents were wrapped in Let's Go Brandon wrapping paper. Seth is another one who got attacked by Clavio. They cut down, you know, they wouldn't let him advertise anymore and send out marketing with Clavio, so we had him on the show to talk about that. I had a great conversation with my buddy Bill Clevenger the other day, who has a beer that I think is going to be a great alternative to Bud Light. This is a beer that's got it's got a recipe that goes all the way back to 1899. And like Miller wanted it, and you know anyway, it's an incredible beer, and I'll tell you more about that as we go forward. But I think I'm actively getting involved. I'm not a beer drinker, but like even at this point, I'm actively getting involved with these people that I believe are part of the parallel economy. That you could say, okay, you want to drink a good beer that's an alternative to a Bud Light or something of that nature. You know, I talked to Bill because he's been in the distribution business for a lot of years, and he's got this beer that he just acquired, and he's like, this thing, you know, this could easily replace a Bud Light, and he has great conservative. I don't say conservative. I'm sure he does. From talking to him, I think he does, but we don't talk politics. I just know he's got good values, and his company is run with good values, and so I'll tell you more about it later on as he's ready to do more stuff, but. I'm the guy, when I see this, and there's no money for me to be made to be made for me in that. When I see people who are doing it, I want to go support them. So whether it's a Bill Clevenger or it's a Seth Weathers or these other people who are out there doing it, chads.com, as you've heard me talk about Todd Rosen's company out in California. You know, my very own Buffalo Chip whiskey, which is, you know, is distilled, distributed, bottled right there in Nashville, Tennessee. You know, when I look at that, I'm like, and I don't even really drink whiskey anymore, but I've got, you know, I'm a part owner in the whiskey company. And so I look at all these things and it's like, how can we empower the American people to, you know, buy things and consume things from people that have their same values? It matters, man. It matters. And so I try to put my money where my mouth is. I invest where I can in companies like that. And, you know, listen, it's like Wade Trimmer. I had him on the show, and we hung out all that night, you know, went to dinner and stayed at the same hotel and spent a lot of time together, great quality time. And one of Wade's thing talks about, you know, we were talking about giving and just being generous. And he said, you know, his old saying is, if you're giving while you're living, you're knowing where it's going. You know, a lot of people wait till they're dead before, you know, their wealth or whatever gets siphoned off. And then it's up to the next generation to determine how they're going to handle an inheritance or your estate or whatever. If you're living while you're giving, you're knowing where it's going. So make sure that while you have the opportunity, invest in those people that have those same values as you. Do it. You want to go to a comedy show, go to a music show, come to one of mine. Come to one of mine. Listen, we're doing great things. I've just met with Based Records. I'm in partnership with them now and doing fun things, which is an alternative record label out of Nashville, Tennessee that can't be canceled. The woke mob can't come after us, and we're going to put some stuff out that's going to be fantastic. We're working with artists, we're working with musicians, and this is the kind of stuff that I'm spending the rest of my life trying to support the people, the companies that have the same values as me, and that's what's important. All right. You've heard me talk about iTarget. I love it. If you got one and you haven't gone to the next level, then you need to get their new product. You've seen the competitive shooter practice your timing drills on the range. Listen, you could do that at home. You can do it whenever you want. You don't have to spend a dime on ammo. It's the new iTarget Cube, and it's fully compatible with your existing laser bullet if you have iTarget Pro. You can buy the one, or you can upgrade to the 3-pack and get a really cool, unique training experience. You can compete against your friends. You can practice the drills. You can use random mode and test your ability to react. And the system's going to time every shot you take. So it's fun. I'll save you 10% plus get you free shipping with offer code CHAD. I spell it Chad when you go to itargetpro.com. iTarget comes in all the calibers you need. It comes from 9mm to .223, so you can train with almost any firearm you own. This is the easiest, most cost-effective way to train. It pays for itself in a single day. That's the letter I, targetpro.com. itargetpro.com. Don't forget, use offer code CHAD. We'll be right back. You know, speaking of parallel economy, we've launched our 76forever.com, and we're about to do the e-bike giveaway, which is really cool. That e-bike, dude, you can go 80 miles on that thing on one charge, and it'll get up to like 30 miles an hour. Like, you can kill yourself on it. And it comes in we got the camouflage. I mean, the tires on that thing are massive. And it's not like a bicycle. I mean, it's a bicycle, but you can use a throttle on it, or you could use the pedal assist or whatever. But you can ride the bike, and then you can use it it's like a moped almost, but it's all electric. Charge the thing up, and boom, it goes. It's like a $3,000 bike, man. We're about to do a giveaway. Every time you buy something, we're going to have an opportunity for it. You're going to be automatically entered for, like, every dollar you spend at 76forever.com is an entry into winning that. Once we do that and that's successful, then we'll move up to things like side-by-sides and automobiles. Y'all saw the Hodge twins just gave away a Ram pickup truck and a Jeep plus $10,000 to the person. They're actually giving that thing away. I know who won it, but it hadn't been revealed yet. And they don't pick. We don't get to pick who wins it. There's a third-party company that's completely separated, that's certifiable and all that stuff that makes sure it's authentic, so that they're doing the drawing. And so it's not like I could pick Chris Cruz to win the deal. I'd do that for you, Chris.
There's no insider trading on the bike?
No, we're not Martha Stewart or Nancy Pelosi.
Do I have to know how to ride a bike to ride that? Because I don't really know how to ride a bike.
Well, you got to know how to stay balanced. You know, and they came over to Fort Smith, Arkansas. We shot some promo reel for that. We've also got this really cool thing coming out. It's a challenge coin. Everybody's got the challenge coins. But we got a new mission. It's a new initiative called Hold the Line. And you know how you've had we've always honored, like, veterans in active duty military and first responders and stuff like that. But after coming through the pandemic, and we saw so many people that stood up and they said, we're not going to get vaccinated because the government tells us to. We're going to use our own mind and critical thought to make our own decisions. You know, you got nurses, you got doctors that lost their licenses, you got teachers that stood against the crap. There's people out there that are true American unsung heroes. And so we're creating this Hold the Line coin and kind of creating a family around that. And I'll tell you another thing that's coming out. We're going to be doing some supplements too. You know, I love my supplements. We're even going to do dick pills.
Hell yeah. I love slinging dick pills.
What?
Yeah, we're going to do some dick pills too. We are, because everybody's like, why don't you do dick pills, Chad? I'm like, okay, we will.
Yeah.
We will. I mean, I'm telling you, dude, it's parallel economy stuff. Why in the world are you going to keep paying all your money to Pfizer?
Yeah, liberal Viagra. We can get you hard right here.
Well, I'll make you hard. I will make you hard. I will give you some stuff that will help your circulation, okay? We're going to have all of that stuff. You're going to be able to get it all at 76forever.com. Take it over the world, Ma!
Hell yeah.
Take it over the world. Look what Keeps is doing to my hair. It's not really. I'm still bald. Look at that right there. Keeps is great, though. It grows. It does it. When I use it, it grows it pretty good. I don't even know if they're still a sponsor of the show. I think they are.
Parallel economy.
Parallel economy, baby. But I'm telling you, we're doing it all. People think that they are. People think that they're threatening me by saying, "Oh, what are you going to do next, Chad? Dick pills?" I'm like, yeah. Yeah, we'll do beer, we'll do tequila, we'll do whiskey, we'll do the whole thing. And if I can't do it, I'll go out there and find the people and partner with them to do it and make sure they get supported and make sure I use my platform to do it. I'm telling you, I don't care if it's truck wraps to my buddy Tim Beard that I buy my trailers from, that go behind my truck, that I tow my stuff all over the country. Tim Beard, Beard's Trailer Sales, Fort Worth, Texas. I'll support all of these guys. I will. I'll use my platform to promote all of them because when I pull up to Tim Beard's trailer company right there in Fort Worth, he got a giant-ass American flag flying over that sucker, and I know exactly where he stands on stuff. So, and plus, he's a friend. He's a close personal friend. So I got these folks out there. I've always wanted to be able to say, this is who you should be buying from. Like, we should be able to put a buyer's list out. You know, and I know these things exist, but back when I was doing America's Box, there was no definitive list of who was an American-owned company. Like, you couldn't just say, hey, give me a list, because there's nothing registered with the government to be able to do that. But beyond who owned in America, what are their values? And that's the key, man. Support those people. Patriot Mobile, Relief Factor, these folks, I mean, my God, we've allowed from everything from the GMOs to the food that's grown to the pharmaceutical company to medical tyranny to judicial and educational tyranny. The government rules over us, and it's not even the government. It's the 2.5 million unelected bureaucrats that have been appointed in Washington, D.C. Those are the ones who are truly directing the policy and affecting your life. So parallel economy, parallel economy, parallel economy. Let's do it. Let's take over the world. Take over the world. I mean, you got Kamala Harris. This is something we didn't get to this week. Kamala Harris basically said Republicans are extremists. I mean, we've heard the ultra MAGA Republican, extreme MAGA Republicans in the House from Joe Biden. I mean, this is the vice president, cackling Kamala Harris is the vice president of the United States. You want to talk about creating a parallel economy? This is what's coming after you right here. Play the clip.
Let us clearly understand the moment we are in.
Here we go.
A moment in which our hard-won freedoms are under attack. Because just look at where we are. Extremists across our country attack the freedom to vote. They ban books to attempt to erase America's full history. They attack the ability of people to love openly with pride. They attack the freedom of a woman to make decisions about her own body instead of the government. They attack medication that for 20 years the FDA ruled as being safe. And just yesterday in Florida, extremists there signed a 6-week ban before most women even know they're pregnant.
All right, I want to respond to the vice president with one word, one question. Where? Yeah, okay. A 6-week heartbeat bill is being signed in Florida. I mean, amazingly enough, and I don't have to belabor this point, but amazingly enough, you may not know you're pregnant, but you know if you did the stuff to get pregnant. I mean, if you've been out there raw dogging, then there's a good chance, and you're having sex with a man, and you're a woman, which, by the way, it only works with the quote-unquote cis women. The biological females, if you've been out there raw dogging and you're not using any form of contraceptive, you know for a fact that what you did could potentially lead to you being pregnant. Now, I don't know where you live that you're so ignorant that you can't figure out that, hey, I did something last night that might have gotten me pregnant. And I have the ability to find out between now and 6 weeks whether or not I am. But where are people who just want to love each other? Where can they not do that? That's what I want to know. Where are women's rights being taken away? I want to know that. Where are trans rights being taken away? Where is this extremism? Where are books being banned? I want to know. Tell me where, if we had a book burning to the point where, I mean a book burning where suddenly those books are no longer available. You can't get them on Amazon, can't get them on Walmart.com, can't get them at Barnes & Noble, can't get them at any bookseller. You can't get them. Because that would be a ban. Like a Bible in China. Like that's a ban. You can't. Only the people underground hiding it against the threat of their own life. That, like, you can't have a Bible in China. But you could still get, Johnny Blows Bobby on Amazon. We just don't want it in the public schools where a seventh grader has the access to read it in the public library or the school library. That's what we're saying is, hey, can we use a little bit of caution of what we're exposing our children to in public spaces? Can we do that? But, I just want to know where. I want to know where these rights are being trampled on by you extreme Republicans that are doing all of these horrible things. Now, again, I'm not defending big government Republicans at all. I'm not. But this kind of rhetoric right here is dangerous. And that's the Vice President of the United States. Because, again, I can't recall a time, I don't remember Mike Pence just coming out and just radicalizing a side. But, when he was Vice President, I don't remember, I don't remember anybody that's a vice president who came out and just really tried to radicalize and marshal forces of thought and ideology against the other side and just really villainize that side. I don't just doesn't stand out. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I don't know. I just, off the top of my head, I can't remember a vice president coming out and saying, oh, these extremists are stealing your rights and taking away your ability to live and function in society. I'm just tired of this rhetoric because I want to know where. Where does that happen? God, I miss raw dogging. Oh, I do, man. Might do some later. I can't get anybody pregnant, though. It's a beautiful thing. Can't get anybody pregnant. So you men, you don't want women to have, you want them to have their babies. Why don't you go get a vasectomy? I did. Who's up? Who wants some of this?
We'll do a parallel economy for those two.
I'm a parallel economy, baby.
Yeah. We can make sure you get hard, and we make sure you won't get anyone pregnant.
That's right.
Without having to use condoms, because they suck.
They do suck, man. I can't even tell you the last time. I'm clipped, I'm clamped, I'm stapled, I'm barbed wired, dude. I got landmines down there. There ain't nothing floating through there. I probably got a road scholar in the tubes knocking, trying to get out, but I'm like, sorry, buddy, you missed your shot. Literally. That is that. You got that pain. I've done told you what you need to do to get rid of that pain. We're getting older, let's face it, and one of the guaranteed things that's going to happen is your body just tends to fall apart. Thankfully, things aren't falling off yet, but things tend to fall, they fall apart, and you have pain, okay? Arthritis, joint pain, all these kind of things that I've had to deal with. And you're living in it day after day, month after month. It fills up your world. It steals your joy. You can't go out and live an active lifestyle. You just don't want to move around. You don't want to get down on the floor with the grandkids. You don't want to do any of that because it hurts. Well, the good news, it doesn't have to be that way. Relief Factor, I love them so much. They're a great way to reduce pain. And that pain is usually caused by the inflammation in the joints. And when you take it as directed, it very well could absolutely change your life. Now, it's not a drug. It's something developed by doctors, though, and it reduces inflammation in your body. In fact, most people, almost 3/4 of the people who take it, almost 70% of the people who take it, keep ordering it because it works. And if you're living with pain, try it. Try it for 3 weeks. Give it a shot. They got a 3-week quick start. It's only $19.95. It's a trial pack, and you can get it by going to relieffactor.com, relieffactor.com, or call them 800-4RELIEF. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Imagine waking up and one day you discover that when you turn on the morning news that in a bizarre coincidence, 100 people across the country had just spontaneously decided to cut off their own left arms. And even more bizarrely, when asked about the matter, they each gave the same answer as to the reason why. They say, I've never felt like I was supposed to have a left arm. My body didn't match the off-kilter true me inside my head, and I just had to do something about it. So you go to sleep that night thinking about how weird that was, but not assigning anything more to it than really weird coincidence. And then the next morning when you turn on the news, it's the same story, but this time it's 10,000 people. And the next day it's 50,000. All of a sudden, what you see unfolding in front of you is what history buffs like, Dan Carlin would call an intellectual contagion. But wait, there's more. Before too long, this insane craze of cutting off the left arm is co-opted as a tool by the left because anything that can be will be, of course. And the next thing you know, the media isn't reporting this as an oddity anymore. In fact, they're embracing it and calling those who do it or even just feel like they want to do it heroes. They're brave souls. And what's that? They're also victims as well. Now the government is involved too, because now we have an underserved subclass, don't we? And we have yet another beautiful target at which to aim our arrows of money and adulation, and on and on and on it goes until it turns into a beautiful cacophony producing machine which whirls like a dervish through the dust of our collapsing moral and intellectual edifice. All because we cut off our left arms. Now, let me, a cynical man with two arms, step outside my narrative for just a moment. The new governor in Jersey, Phil Murphy, the place of my birth, I might add, although I have no roots or connection there, recently came out, used federal COVID relief funds to launch a website for non-binary and transgender people. Can I just say that again? Used COVID relief funds to launch the website for non-binary and transgender people, divided into 3 sections. How to update your ID and other documents, how to find support and resources, and legal protections available to them. And I know what you're thinking. Which is he going to go after? The insane downhill effect of pork spending from on high in the salad days of the coronavirus, or the insane downhill effect of leftist centralization preying upon an unsuspecting mental health condition and turning it into one of the most dangerous thorns in the side of free speech and free thought in the history of humanity? Well, friends, I don't put my pants on one leg at a time like the regular Joe. I hop into both of them with both feet at once. And while I need not analogize to sing my song of woe to you about the evils of government leeching money from its citizenry to spend on things that most of us would find downright criminal, I do want to return for purposes of intellectual dissection to our original story. Why do you hate the people who cut off their left arm, or at least claim they want to? Why are you so bigoted against a point of view that you just don't understand? Where is the room in your heart for their truth next to your own? Does your conservative anchor reside in a place so spiritually anachronistic and morally bankrupt that you're going to prefer a dead, buried, and shall we say unresurrected mode of being? In short, why are you such a Nazi? Friends, this point of view did not come about overnight. It is a central truth that every time one side of a culture war gains an inch, the other side loses an inch, and we have been losing inches for a very long time. The actions of one New Jersey governor may be odious, and we might spend endless hours trying desperately to find a way to stamp that kind of behavior out through legal means, but it is through the hearts and minds approach that over time we can begin to regain those inches that we've lost. Honestly, I give far less a shit about what this corrupt asshole is doing than I do about the dangerously fraying tether of our collective consciousness as a people to reality. We must focus on putting the horse before the cart once again. Put another way, let's not focus on the particular, let's don't focus on that particular paper cut at the tip of the finger when the whole damn arm is being cut off. It's genius, I tell you. That's why we're coming up with the dick pills. Our dick pills are going to be so fabulous at 76forever.com that you can regrow your left arm. That's impressive, right, Kayla? Yeah, and you're not even impressed by left arms. Kayla, baby, listen, if you cut him, I won't mind. You can cut him. You can open him right up. But she is not impressed by penises. That's it. I love you so much, Kayla. I love you so much. Boy, howdy. Well, okay. Cut him, I tell you. Cut him. Let him bleed. Oh, man. Have you guys gone and seen Nefarious yet?
I got the audiobook.
Yeah? That's a different sort of way of viewing a film. I like it. I'm sending everybody
I'm hoping to go
it.
see it this weekend.
Yeah, go see it. It's good. It's a good flick. It's impressive. But, old Steve Dace, we thought he was on death's door last week, man. Yeah, I'm telling you, dude. When you hear the stories of everything that kind of transpired around that Nefarious movie, the making of it, I mean, people in the crew finding scorpions on their pillow, the squirrel that broke into the house and broke the Jesus and the Mary and Joseph nativity, and then ignored all the food in the kitchen, and then just went into the room where they had kind of had a prayer altar built.
Are they doing
are
they doing like a behind the scenes for that? Because it sounds interesting.
They're doing a documentary.
Nice.
They're filming a documentary about the making, and I tell you what may be more impressive than the whole Nefarious movie is the documentary about the making of the movie Nefarious. So, yeah, they're filming a lot of that, kind of behind the scenes stuff. But absolutely, I mean, listen, it's spiritual harassment. It really is, because you start digging into that world, into those trenches, and you're going to have some opposition. And trust me when I tell you, it's a crazy thing. But go check out the movie. We'll talk about it a little bit more before we go to the break. But and I still, by the way, speaking of things I don't understand, like the spiritual world, I still can't figure out why Joe Biden was in Ireland. Like, I have no clue, guys. Well, so he's from everywhere. I mean, Joe's Irish, Joe's Polish, Joe's black, he's Jewish, he's Puerto Rican, he's all of these things. He's wanted to be all of these things. But I like this love fetish with Ireland, which, by the way, I do love going to Ireland. You can go with me. You can go, actually, and if you can't go, you can help send some veterans with me to Ireland. We do this every year. You're not a songwriter. We take veterans that are songwriters over there. And it's a great therapy for PTSD and all this kind of stuff. But you can go to TexasTornadoTour.com, TexasTornadoTour.com, and you can donate a couple of bucks and help us take some folks with us to Ireland. I love going to Ireland. I really do. It's one of my favorite places on the globe. But I can't figure out why Joe was there. Like, what he was doing. He was giving these speeches, and he's going to lick the world and all that. And We got that clip, but we've heard him say it already. Going to go lick the world, and everybody's just fawning over him. It was crazy. He said he wasn't coming. I don't think he's home yet. Wasn't it a 4-day trip? And I don't know if he's home yet. Is he back? He wants to stay. I want him to stay. I mean, I'm all for that agenda right there. Let Joe stay in Ireland, but it is a beautiful country. I'm looking forward to being there. We're going to end of August. 1st of September, that first full week in September, I'll be there. You can go with us. TexasTornadoTour.com. Hey, there's a new movie, as you've heard us talk about, that is just released this last Friday, and you want to see it. It is a movie called Nefarious. You've heard us wax on about it, and I'm impressed with this movie. And I know that it looks like a scary horror movie. It's not. It's a thriller. Steve Dace wrote a book called Nefarious Plot, which was like an updated C.S. Lewis screw tape letters. It's literally an interview with a demon. These two guys have a conversation. One of them's on death row. The other is a psychologist who has to determine if he's crazy or is he able to stand for, go through this execution because he's guilty of murder. And the guy says he's a demon named Nefarious, and the psychiatrist doesn't believe in God, doesn't believe in demons, doesn't believe in the spiritual world at all. He's got to figure out, is this guy insane? Is he pretending? What's going on? But you need to check it out. The acting is incredible. Our friend Sean Patrick Flannery, you know him from Boondock Saints and Powder and some other great movies. He was the young Indiana Jones. He's a great actor. Jordan Belfi is a co-star there. They did a fantastic job on this movie. It is a supernatural thriller, perfect for the friends who love scary films. But more than that, maybe you like going to church and you like having a great conversation about spiritual things. It lends itself to a great conversation. And I want you to go do it. You can find out where it's playing. It's nationwide in select theaters. Whoisnefarious.com. That's whoisnefarious.com, and we'll be right back. All right. Sarah Gonzalez comes in here bugging me, man. She's screaming back there. I heard that. I'm supposed to be over on set doing her show. I'll wait all I want. Talking about Joe, let's talk about Joe a little bit. They keep asking him about 2024. I don't think anybody believes him. I don't think Joe believes himself, and he's getting That's why they're asking him, because, I mean, he's getting pissed off at all these questions about running in 20. I told you. We got one of those clips, don't we? Yeah. Play it real quick.
Can you tell us whether the last few days has changed your calculus on when you make an announcement on your plans for 2024?
No. I've already made that calculus. We'll announce it relatively soon. But the trip here just reinforced my sense of optimism about what can be done.
So you've made a decision? Is this up to announce it?
I told you, my plan is to run again.
He's not running again. He's absolutely not going to run again. They will not let him run again. No, there's no way.
Does it matter?
It does not matter.
I mean, he won last time and he didn't leave his basement.
Well, I don't know. I think that where it starts to matter is they know they have a moron in him, and they know they have a moron in Kamala Harris. But at some point in time, yeah, I don't know that it's tricky, right? Because they don't want anybody that believes they're in charge. They have to have puppets like this, but I don't think that Joe is sustainable. Because, if he runs in another year and a half, or gets reelected, another year and a half, then he's not going to get any better mentally. So he's in a decline. Everybody admits that. Everybody knows that. I mean, unless you're paid to say otherwise. He's in a decline. It's not going to improve. He's not going to get any better in regards to that. So, yeah, I mean, you just get to a point where you're like, do we know what he's going to say? He's already said all I'm going to get in trouble for saying this, and he goes off script. And at what point in time does a dementia-ridden guy just really, go way off the script? And I think they got to be careful with that, because I think you got two mental impairments going on in D.C. Well, there's a lot in D.C., but in terms of the presidency and the executive branch of our government, you got Joe, who has dementia, and Kamala, who's stupid and high. And those are not great combinations on those. I mean, Joe functions as long as they got him doped up. That's my assumption anyway. And Kamala, they just keep her high. You don't believe me? When she's tries to wax eloquent in her Kamala way, wanted to teach us about bridges. Did y'all see that clip? Yeah, play it.
So, when we think about America's bridges, I'm a Californian, so I'm going to tell you one of the things I think we think about. We think about things like the Golden Gate Bridge. Or, some of you might think about the Brooklyn Bridge. But bridges like the one behind me are just as important. Because, every day, more than 100,000 people cross the northbound 395 bridge.
Yeah. Robolo's erection still stands.
All bridges matter, Chad.
Yeah, all bridges matter.
Yeah.
I just remember the Kate and Leopold movie where Hugh Jackman says, Robolo's erection still stands. And where he travels through time, he's looking at the George Washington Bridge. And anyway, we think about bridges. We really do. I mean, we really think about those bridges, don't we? Well, that's the thing. My point is, I don't want to think about a bridge. Like, I want to just know that if I drive over a bridge, it's going to be okay, right? Now, this is a conversation that I don't think I need to be hearing from Madam Vice President. I think I need to be hearing from Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg. Again. I want to hear about train derailments, and I want to hear about infrastructure problems and why the government forces me to make my car road ready, but they don't make the roads car ready. I'm paying for that. I mean, did you see Arnold Schwarzenegger going out and fixing the potholes in his own street? And of course, in stupid.
Yeah, it wasn't even a pothole. It was like a ditch for construction.
It was a construction ditch for drainage.
So he just went and probably made that much more difficult for them.
Yeah, and he filled it with stuff that he shouldn't have been filling it with. So he did it with basically it was like asphalt, but a quick read. It was a patch repair, which again, a couple of rains and some hot days in the sun, that's just going to break up, and you're just going to have rocks. You're going to have asphalt blocks in the street. So Arnold was going to take care of the road. And I should never do that again. But he wasn't even filling up a pothole. No, we're taking care of it.
Is that a pretty good, like, microcosm of Democrat policies right there? It's like, we got this hole. Now, technically, we need it to do construction, but we're going to fill it with something that it shouldn't even be filled with, first of all, and just create more problems down the line.
Yeah.
Like, well, I filled the pothole.
Yeah. I fixed it myself. Yeah, well, kudos to you, Arnie. But, normally it takes a lot of bureaucracy to get a hole like that filled and redone. And trust me when I tell you, the roads in America are crap, dude. I mean, it's gotten brutal. There's a lot of roads in Texas, so don't get me wrong. We got a lot of roads. And I know if the roads are in that shape, then maybe I should start thinking about bridges. Really? Anyway. I love talking about the all-natural supplement that I take every day, Liver Health Formula. And I love how it rejuvenates your liver. It reignites your metabolism. It burns fat. It boosts your energy. It'll fight a fatty liver, which affects over 100 million of us Americans. Well, the good folks over there at PureHealth, they put together this short presentation that shares 4 warning signs of a damaged or fatty liver. And I want you to go watch it. Number 2 is downright scary. And you can watch the free presentation, learn more about your liver health right now. What I want you to do is go over to checkyourliver.com/Chad. Go over to checkyourliver.com/Chad. Hang tight. We'll be right back. All right. Saturday night, I'm going to be in Hockley, Texas, 2920 Roadhouse. That's over kind of in the Tomball area, northwest Houston. Then in 2 weeks, I'm going to be over in DeKalb, Texas. That's East Texas. I'm coming over your way, almost towards like Texarkana. Then I'm going to do a little run through Kansas. If you can still get tickets over there, we're going to be in Sharon Springs and then Inman, Kansas. Then we got Del Norte again, Godley, Texas. My buddy Stacy McNabb, his little ranch out there, his little place in Cleburne, Texas, on Sunday the 21st. We're doing a private party out there. It'll be me and the Ragamuffins. And we only have room for like 70 people, and I think there's a few tickets left. So you want to just come hang out with us? Maybe we'll build a little bonfire, eat a hot dog, something like that. I don't know. We got that going on. But don't forget, ChadPratherLive.com has all of the stuff you need. And you can always go to WatchChad.com where all the fun stuff is, and you can visit the store. You can check out all the stuff and do it. But I want to encourage you guys. As I always do, go subscribe to BlazeTV.com. And go to blazetv.com/Chad. Use promo code Chad. And sign up. Be a part of the Blaze TV family. Independent broadcasting is where it's at. We are truly cutting edge. If you think about it, radio is almost obsolete. TV is almost obsolete. The internet is going to be forever. And, pioneers like Glenn Beck made, networks like the Blaze possible. So please be a subscriber. And just know that I appreciate you so much. Overtime tomorrow, once again with Wade Trimmer. We love you. God bless you. We will talk to you then. Have a great weekend. Bye.